You were born alone, you will die alone, the journey is your own. Where did you come from before you were born? Where will you go after you die? Does anybody really know? Have you ever truly contemplated those things? Every single one of us probably has our own beliefs about those things, but can we actually physically prove them to each other or even to ourselves if we're not currently living in that reality and can't remember what it was like before we were born or after we die? This video is going to be all about explaining universal truth number 1 that we briefly covered in the previous video. Now, the point I'm trying to make here is probably one that you've likely never heard before because it's kind of insane. This concept is going to blow your mind. However, it's going to change the way that you think about your life and the way that you perceive the world in this reality forever. So how can you actually know that something is real if you haven't experienced it directly or are not currently living it? You see, reality isn't exactly what you think it is, and it's definitely not what you've been told. In fact, the actual reality of the physical human experience only happens in the moment. It doesn't happen in the future, it doesn't happen in the past. Those things only exist in our minds. Also, you are never the same exact person from moment to moment because energy and therefore consciousness is always in flux, and it has to be that way for free will to exist. Now, the purpose of understanding this concept is to help us not get confused and lost and to understand what is real and what is not real. It's very easy to get wrapped up into our emotions, into our thoughts, into information, into things that can be fallacies, lies. As human beings, this experience is very intense. So how do we know what is true and what is not true? What is real and what is not real? As an example, take yourself for instance. You are not the same person from one second to the next. All of the cells in your body constantly are changing. Your thoughts are changing. You evolve into a new version of yourself every single moment that you have a different thought, because with that thought, your reality shifts and you become a different person. You evolve into a different level of consciousness. Now, that doesn't mean that you're going forwards, backwards, upwards, downwards. It just means that energy is never stagnant and you are made of pure energy. So you are constantly changing. Every single second, you are a different person. Now, let me give you some examples of this concept within our physical reality. Let's talk about some topics that are very controversial, especially in these times, such as, was the moon landing real? Is the earth flat or is the earth round? It's not important what you believe, if it's one way or the other. It's important what you can actually prove to yourself. It's not even important what you can prove to other people, because this reality is yours. This life is yours. So how can you prove all of these different things in your life to yourself if you have not physically experienced them for yourself? Have you set 2 feet on the moon to be able to prove to yourself that that is actually a real thing, like you have been told? Have you left this atmosphere to be able to observe the planet, if that's indeed what it is, from outside to see that it is a sphere and that it is a planet like we've been told? If your answer is no, then you don't truly know if those things are 100% what you've been told or not. It's physically impossible to know that without having experienced it yourself. Now, the reason why I'm talking about this and presenting this to you is because the whole purpose of this is to understand what is truly real to you so that you can figure out why it is that you came here. If we are paying attention to things that we cannot prove, such as historical facts, if you weren't alive 1,000 years ago to see things with your own 2 eyes, how can you know for sure that what you're being told is true? We are lied to all the time. We lie to ourselves, people lie to each other. It's human nature. Now, the main problem with believing something wholeheartedly that you cannot physically prove to yourself is you're then subjecting yourself to lower levels of thought processes, lower levels of consciousness, get wrapped up into emotions, arguing with other people about what's real and what's not real. That's all just a distraction. That doesn't even matter. What they believe, what you believe, it's always going to be different. You're never going to be the same exact person as they are. So the only way to find your own personal spiritual compass, the compass that your soul has here for you to follow, that is very obscured, is by not allowing yourself to get lost and confused along your path. So to help yourself stay on the right course, you need to make sure that everything that you're experiencing is true and real to you. There's levels to that. There's physical truth reality, there's spiritual truth reality, psychological, emotional. And remember, we have to learn how to separate all of those things and understand what is real and what is not real. Remember what I said in the previous video that I did. Logical thinking and open-mindedness are two of the absolute most important things that you're going to need to succeed in your life's journey. And that you're also going to need to challenge everything that you thought you knew and thought you believed to discover this new version of yourself. Remember, you have your own personal compass. It's yours and yours alone. It's not the same as anybody else's. It's going to point you in the direction that you need to go, but you have to learn how to discover what it is that your soul is trying to tell you and in the direction that it's trying to lead you while you're here. To do that, we have to deal with the human conundrum. The mind, the emotions, the senses, our external environment that is filled with all sorts of distractions and all sorts of information that can be useful, but can also be a hindrance. To keep moving forward, we can't allow ourselves to get stuck in one place, get stuck on one concept. We have to open our minds up to everything that's available to us, but we have to make sure that we're not getting lost in doing so. And please don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, comment, and share all of this information so that we can all learn and grow together and succeed on our life's journey. In closing, I have the same question for you. Destiny is calling. Are you going to answer it?